Hello everyone and welcome to the last lecture of this Global Navigation Satellite Systems and Application course. And though it has been a smaller course of only 10 hours 20 lectures, but we try to cover almost everything, sometimes maybe briefly, about different aspects associated with the GNSS, that is Global Navigation Satellite Systems. I have also a few times mentioned that this is a very fast growing technology as electronics and mobile technology is improving or increasingly becoming more reliable. So, this technology is. So, the growth and future of this technology is going to be almost the same pace as smartphone technologies. In this particular lecture, we are going to focus basically the GNSS opportunities in India, how things are going to evolve based on the current and past experiences. But as in the previous lecture we have discussed that it is the hard thing in this GNSS thing is to predict the future. But anyway, we will try to see that what are the opportunities in India and how this can benefit the whole society. So, you know that one of the largest market in Asia is located in India about of GNSS market or users, and the users are having a wide spectrum. Users are there from navigations of all types of navigations, road, air and water navigations, maybe geographic data collections in the field surveys, civil engineering surveys, topographic surveys or even cadastral surveys, and even in the census surveys. The GNSS receivers are being used extensively because the availability and reliability is becoming very satisfactory as per the requirements. Location based services also there this market is growing in India. Agriculture also, whoever is having large farming, they are looking these options, how to improve, how to make more beneficial, profitable by employing new technologies including the GNSS. And one of the major users of GNSS facilities or opportunities is the disaster management, that is basically search and rescue management, whether it is during flood time or maybe in earthquake, maybe in cyclone, even in avalanches or tracking, and this GNSS is there. So, one by one we will look the current scenarios and future predictions in different sectors, like in aviation sector spacecraft, that IRNSS system is developed basically to reduce the country's dependency on GPS. When we started discussing during initial lectures of this course, we also discussed that why India has developed its own constellations or own navigation system rather than utilizing the others. For example, when in 99 the Kargil war occurred and then US stopped the services to India, that is GPS services, and our defense forces faced big difficulties to handle that situation without having any navigation systems. So, now after that government decided that we will have our own system, navigation system, rather than depending on others, especially in case of war or in case of some natural disasters, the services from others may not be available, but mainly in war situation, that was the main purpose. So, IRNSS was developed, that is now called NAVIC, and currently it is not open so far in the civilian world, but army people, defense personals are definitely using their one. In aviation sectors also they are using this one, and of course there has to be in future that there will be more users once it becomes open to civilian and in all sectors. And we go, this is in the first one was on the spacecrafts, to a limited extent. Then we go for aircraft, that is civil aviation. So, like Civil Aviation, Ministry of Civil Aviation in recent past has decided to implement an indigenous SBAS systems along with of course IR and SS, so that within the Indian subcontinent we can get the accurate navigation facilities. So, this satellite based augmentation system is very much is there. In the future, this civil sector is also likely to be used in non-civilian aviation sectors like maritime applications, improved surveying, cartography, and basically in topographic surveys and in many scientific research, including studies related with crustal deformations or ground deformation studies. And if we look this focus over this sector, that is the road sector, road navigation. So, as we have already discussed that lot of these vehicle navigation systems are there, new cars are fitted with their own navigation system. There were some standalone or PDAs were there, which like Map My India, SetNav and Bakumput and TomTom, and several such systems are there, but nowadays more trend is that these cars will have their own system rather than standalone system, because the market in the standalone is on a decline, because this is being replaced or compensated by the mobile device, smartphone mobile. In future, the road conditions, whatever the current trend, whatever the the traffic conditions, basically the latest road conditions that is there in real time traffic information, that is like we see in the Google map. And a big one is the crowdsourcing. So, let me discuss in little detail about this thing, the crowdsourcing, that is the data or inputs are coming through this crowdsourcing in the Google map. As we say nowadays that in Google map, when you are navigating using Google map for navigation, say for example road navigation, what do you see? A road is shown in 3 colors generally, many times. One is in blue color, yellow color and red color. So, part of a road, suppose if I put a from Roorkee to Delhi, then at several places I might be seeing a road is shown as blue color, and in some parts it is yellow, and maybe in some parts in red color. So, there it has got the meaning. The meaning is that wherever I find a blue color road, that means the traffic is running very smoothly, and there is no jam, or neither it is slow, it is in a normal speed. Whereas if it is yellow colored road, that means that traffic is not moving smoothly, it is rather slow. And a third one is the red one, that means basically it is crawling and either a complete jam or moving very very slowly, not as per normal conditions. And the information to Google map is coming through this crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing means here that the mobiles which are on the roads, inside the vehicles or in the people's pocket, they are connected with some tower or another all the time. So, when these mobiles are moving from one place to another in a quite good speed, and that road is marked as blue. When these mobiles are not moving, not changing tower from one to another at a normal speed, it is slow, so then it is marked yellow. And if it is not moving at all or moving at a very slow pace, then it is marked as red. The crowdsourcing, the data is coming through basically the mobiles. Very recently, you might have heard that we currently, that is the discussion in the country about that Indian Air Force, they hit targets in Pakistan, especially in the Balakot, where a lot of terrorists were assembled in a big building, and that estimates about 300 mobiles were on that came directly from this crowdsourcing. So, this crowdsourcing has given a big clue to the Indian Air Force to learn before hitting the target that how many mobiles were active or on, and say around 2 o'clock and 3 a.m. in the morning, and they were not moving at all. That means the people were resting or sleeping, and since it was since we knew that they are terrorists are there, and it has been hit. Now it has been mentioned that 300 mobiles were on. So some people are keeping 1 or 2 or sometimes 3 mobiles. So if we reduce by that number, at least 250 or 220, 30 people were definitely there, because after that target which was hit by the Indian Air Force, all these mobiles became non-functional and there were no signals whatsoever. So crowdsourcing is becoming a very good input to estimate certain things, to estimate the not only location of the people, the crowding, and where the more vehicles are there, where the more people are there, and even counting is possible to some extent where large gathering is happening. So based on this crowdsourcing, lot of things are coming, lot of applications are there very intelligently. If they are used like it Air Force has used, it can really bring happiness to the country. So there are further opportunities in GNSS overall market, which is related with road, is the dynamic traffic flow data, which tells you that whether traffic is moving is correctly or not, or a normal speed. One source is of course crowdsourcing, and then traffic messages. If there is a jam or something, you get a beforehand so that you can exit that road, may go to some other road, country road, maybe smaller road, but at least you would be moving. Real time information on public transportation, that is also in the future, and the parking information also. Many of these things have already been implemented through Google Maps, but in future these things will become much more efficient or more accurate as these devices becomes. And further in the fleet management systems, as we have seen one of the examples from taxi services which are on roads. Similarly, the big trucks operators, big transporters, they too have implemented, many of them, the fleet management system, and there they for the logistics to improve the process efficiency. Even in the taxation system, many fleet managers or management systems or truck operators, they have installed these GNSS receivers in their trucks, and they would like to know that how this truck is moving, where it is standing. And slowly this GST charges are also being clubbed with these GNSS receivers installed on these big trucks, so that exactly it will know that from where the truck has lifted the goods and where it has delivered, and how much time it has taken, how much, and so many things are there. So this GST, because they have to start with the eBay bill, and that eBay bill can also be linked, is being linked with this fleet management system through this GNSS. So that is another current trend. In future it will become almost necessary to all these truck owners to have a fleet management system along with GPS, so these things can be monitored and proper taxation can be done. There are state public road transportation, almost each state is having their own buses to carry the people. So there also this FMS, that is fleet management systems, can be employed. It is already being used, which will increase the efficiency and convenience and comfort to the passengers. So there are in some places they are being run in a pilot mode, but in future it is going to become very near future. It will become a very normal thing for public state transport. And the other technologies which are available is the latest in India, but not supported by good physical infrastructure to maximize efficiency in future. And in India there is no central database that can process output of fleet management, but it is not very difficult. In future I am sure lot of work will be done on this in the fleet management for the road sector. Now these call centers, BPOs, they deployed these hazardous driving detection systems for different purposes. We hear a lot of incidents related with their employees, and these things, if they are fitted with GNSS receivers and they are managed through a control center or control room, then lot of these problems can be solved, especially if their movements, these taxis or vehicles which are carrying the workers of these call centers, if their movement is also monitored and recorded, then the passengers can become very safe. In India there are many small and medium enterprises that we call them as SMEs, and they too are in this FMS sector, that is fleet management sector, and importers, assemblers, resellers, mobile application developers, web application developers, and many more, they too are using these. Future for all those scenarios is the improvement, efficiency and convenience in almost in all these. Same in the this maritime or in the marine or in the sea, that currently these vehicles or vessels rather are many of them, the big one, are already fitted with the navigation systems, but in future they will be having their own systems along with automatic identification systems will also be there, and which can be, so these vessels monitoring can be done, their movements and maritime activities within a 50-kilometer radius of the shore, that can be controlled through these GNSS systems. And there are augmentation systems, and like in different countries are there, which has implemented many systems. In India we have implemented the system which use GNSS signals for processing. And future electronic chart display, other information system, radio navigation, that is going to happen with this maritime or the sea movement, and the vessels traffic management services are already there, will also come in a big way, and of course distress conditions. For distress safety systems, there is already a system, global maritime distress safety system, so that also uses these GNSS devices. Further in the GNSS there is a Indo-French system which has been developed, which is called SARAL, and will provide data products to operational and research user community in support of maritime meteorology and sea state forecasting. How is the condition in the sea, whether it is rough or is smooth, operational oceanography, seasonal forecasting, climate monitoring and earth sciences and climate changes, climate research. So for a lot of things, these because location is important, accuracy of that location data estimation is important, and GNSS is going to play. More opportunities are going to come in future, especially for fisheries, predicting weather changes, etc. in the sea. Once these systems becomes much more common, even in a small boat or a vessel. Railway Center for Railway Information Systems, this Gnss, they have already thought about that IRNSS will aid in location moving of the trains. A pilot project is coming which is a satellite imaging for rail navigation, Simran, for real-time passengers information system by utilizing GNSS is in progress. So that is already on. Currently it is a pilot project, but hopefully after some time it may be a full-fledged system in the rail navigation sector in India. And the areas which the rail sector is going to grow, utilizing GNSS and multi-constellation or our own Indian system, that is in rail traffic management, goods tracking, which we have discussed quite in earlier lecture, that how these fleet management or railway engines or railway goods trains can be monitored and managed. Train running status, we already know currently many of much of information is coming from different stations. When this train crosses, and that the station master updates that the train has crossed, and we know that okay, and this through these train running softwares we know that the train has passed this station or will be reaching certain station out. But once they are fitted with the GNSS devices, then live every meter movement can be seen through these softwares on our own smart mobile devices. So this is going to be so accurate timings when the train will reach to a particular station, we will be getting very soon. And railway disaster management also, it is going to play a very big role in future in India. We see a magazine which is online, of course offline, both versions are there, a geospatial world, which says that the Indian Railways to use GIS portal, satellite imagery and GPS to monitor trains, manages access. Basically here, though it has been mentioned GPS, but it is the meaning here is GNSS, multi-constellation, not only the single constellation GPS, but multi-constellation including IRNSS is going to be used along with satellite images and in the background a GIS map also or GIS portal. So which will manage these monitor the train movements, manage their its assets and other things of the railway. So in order to give a power boost to its service, Indian Railways is all set to use satellite imageries of high resolution, GPS and GIS to monitor, maintain and manage its assets across the country. Say one of the second largest railway network in the world. So definitely new technologies are required to manage, monitor and think about the future as well. In the mapping sector, surveying and in topographic surveying, in civil engineering or in geological surveying, even in the botanists have started using, and there are many types of surveys are there. So this is very crucial information about the location. The geospatial information is crucial and significant when we talk about the India as a developing nation. So it is currently it is already extensively being used. Though we are earlier we have been using only GPS, but multi constellations is there. IRNSS or NAVIC will also come in a big way. And India is also known for outsourcing destinations. So there it is also going to play a very important role about geospatial technologies and also which includes your GNSS. The future prediction for in the mapping survey scenario in India, that in healthcare also, which is already a big scheme has been recently launched by Government of India. So again location will be there, which will be might be getting attached with your Aadhaar card and other things. And then logistics, central and state governments, agriculture, telecommunication, gas and electric supply, petroleum, environmental management and public safety, forest department, forest management, infrastructure. Forest departments and forest management, lot of there is already uses of satellite images, GIS and of course GNSS systems, but this is going to become more prudent, it will penetrate further and more innovations will be done. Further in this mapping and surveying, as we have also discussed that different states are coming for their digitization requirements, land records, taxation, which are based on these technologies, maybe in integrated like GIS, GNSS, remote sensing together. So that is there, and not only for having records of the land, which makes development projects to operate or run very easily once everything on a computer system or a platform, but also there are other advantages. So We have also discussed about demography, means in the how people are there, their distribution and so on. So, there also it is going to play. Then competitiveness, expansion, risk management, target oriented marketing, planning of routes, etc. Lot of things which we are not visualizing, we are unable to visualize today about the GNSS future. But as I have been mentioning that as these things will become friendly, user friendly, efficient and reliable, more new users will come forward because of better technology. So, this is the situation. There is also program which is going on, will take better shape in future. So, that almost all at national level all record modernization program is there, which will aim to modernize management land records, minimize scope, dispute and all other things are there. So, all these things are happening, will happen further because technologies are becoming more reliable. If we look this remote sensing sector, of course, this remote sensing, GIS and GPS, they are having or GNSS, they are having three things in common. One is all three technologies are spatial technologies, that is they deal with the locations, and in brief this is what I can say about the spatial technologies. And secondly, all these three technologies are digital also, and therefore the integration of these technologies with each other becomes much easier, and they are complementary to each other as well. So, that is the advantages of these technologies, GIS, remote sensing and GNSS, that they are spatial, they are digital technologies, and there is a continuity of these technologies. So, all are growing at a almost at a very fast or in a synchronized manner. So, if we look from how in remote sensing sector this will help GNSS, there are various things. Few I can just mention that groundwater prospect and recharge zone mapping is a big thing which is required in this country. It is being done. It is national watershed monitoring, national wetland inventory, glacier and snow studies, coastal zone studies, forecasting of agriculture output, which we have already discussed in agriculture sector. There is already a system which is called FASL, and so on and so forth. And so everywhere it is going to play very, because location information is very important. A future one of the corporation or one of the commercial arm of ISRO, which is Antariksh Corporation, they are planning to increase the usage of remote sensing data products to increase that market share, and also a launching of new satellites like ResourceSat 2, 3, and maybe in future we may be having more high spatial resolution satellite images as well. Currently, as you know, the Indian remote sensing data products are reaching around 70 countries in the world, either through resellers or through ISRO's own ground stations. Not only ground stations or satellite earth stations are in India of ISRO satellite, but in some other countries also. So, these are all going to make GNSS percolate further. In mobile sector, we have been discussing lot. So, I will quickly cover this part, that this mobile sector in India has grown. Perhaps we are having the maximum number of users of mobiles in India, and especially the smart mobiles are integrated nowadays with these GNSS receivers, multi-constellation GNSS receivers. So, location based services are there, and built around GIS, and for their various purposes, navigation and other things. GNSS companies both local and international are competing to grab the piece of this Indian LBS market, location based market, especially in the logistic for tracking cargo trucks across the country. Lot applications are coming in this one. and very difficult to predict future about this market, especially the mobile and GNSS. LVS market in India will grow further, and 70% of the people said they use the services like navigation and alerts. In coastal areas, the alerts are being broadcasted, and people are using very sincerely, and lives are being saved during, especially in cyclones and other time. Smartphone adoption is rapidly increasing due to reducing cost and of course becoming reliable, efficient, and this would further allow the subscribers to access more mobile solutions. New technologies 4G will boost LVS market in mobile advertising, and the main challenges are availability of high quality map data, and that is also improving with high availability of high spatial resolution satellite data. So, the quality of the maps, that means quality means here the accuracy and updated information available on a GIS platform can be made with high spatial resolution data. So, that is also there, but more and more requirement would be there for this. So, this is about the mobile sector. Tourism also, in tourism sector already there are users, many travel companies are using this one, and recreational and adventurous companies are there in many parts of India, and they are using guided tours with the GNSS navigation on a 3D map. This is also coming, and this has got much bigger future. LVS technologies in tourism industry, it is at not a big stage, but very soon it will take a central stage. And retailing and marketing also people are using, like big bazaars, Reliance Fresh, they have already started using. Remaining 90% of the most single outlet retail stores have a modest or near to nil market budget for LVS. So, they are not using, but big companies have already implemented the GNSS or integrated system to make their market or malls accessible to others, and also through surveys they find out about the requirements of the customers. In foreign direct investment in retail segment is passed to the Indian Parliament use this LVS technology, and it is again going to be a big boost for future in the retailing of India. Precision farming, we have already discussed compared to western countries, or especially in US, Canada and India, that this is also one of the sectors which is going to grow in India, and that is the GNSS applications in precision farming. Government of India has already given encouragement or incentives for precision farming with some subsidies or special grants, and there is a Gnss satellite which has launched by ISRO, which assists farmers to precision farming projects, that is there. Along with precision farming, and the UAV market is also growing. So, future it will become may become very common thing to use GNSS based devices for precision farming in India also. Search and rescue has been a big user of already big user of GNSS services, and in future also it is going to be. Each country and a group of countries are putting their resources and efforts to have such systems in place before any such disasters occurs in their country. India is also having our INSAT and GEO systems which are integral part of this COSPAS, and SARSAT, which is the mission of the program, is to provide accurate, timely and reliable distress alert and location data to help search and rescue, that is SAR, search and rescue authorities assist persons in distress, maybe in case of cyclone, maybe in case of earthquake, maybe in case of tsunami. So, these systems are already SASR is the satellite aided search and rescue system is there already by the Indian Mission Control Center INMCC, and there are some other maritime rescue coordination center is there and some other centers. They are depending on where such disasters may occur and so on. So forth. Further work is being done in India in future also, that working like ISRO is working to accommodate upcoming system requirements, and like for example the implementation of international beacon registration database, augmentation of communication systems with internet based FTP and VPN email systems, and then upgradation of this GEO, LEO and MARC, which is a part of IR and SS, and continuous upgradation is there. Development of MEO-SAR system, that is SAR instruments on GNSS, GLONASS, GPS and Galileo satellites. So whatever the current technology is available, which is going to be used for search and rescue operations, which is a very serious sector, but very much required, which saves directly saves the lives of the human. So this brings to the end of this course also, and to this current discussion, that is 20th lecture, which I have just discussed about the opportunities in India, about GNSS and some future about that. And I hope you have enjoyed this course, and of course a few new things will be coming in future, and a few more development will take place in this domain. And but the basic things which most of the time which I have spent time on basic things which will remain same, and that how GPS or GNSS system operates, and what are the different systems, what are the error components, how these can be minimized, what are the the current solutions for more accurate or precise locations estimations, and what are the applications, current applications, as have been mentioning that future is difficult to predict, and what are the upcoming technologies associated with GNSS for more accurate not only position but timing and other applications as well. So this brings to the end of this course. This is last cartoon of this course, so enjoy and smile. Thank you very much.